Welcome to Batman, Superman, Dawn of Podcast with Adam and Nick.
Welcome to another episode of Batman, Superman, Dawn of Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Adam. And with me is my co-host, Nick. Nick, how's it going?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here. We are officially on the road to Superman. I can't wait to talk about that even more with you. And I do want to throw out one quick thing, Adam, if you don't mind, because you and
Sure.
Donnie recorded a beautiful Christmas themed episode where you guys talked about a bunch of different Christmas themed, episodes with Batman, Superman, Justice League, things like that.
Yeah.
In light of obviously our guy Logan here, who's going through a really tough time right now. So, fortunately, a lot of us in life, we go through things that are sometimes bigger than ourselves. I don't know Logan personally, but I do wish him all the strength and positivity in the world. And Logan, if you are listening, hang in there, buddy, and we wish you all the best
Yeah.
and what's coming your way. So I did want to throw out that thing because that was a beautiful thing that you and Donnie recorded, and I hope everybody checks that out as well.
Yeah, Donnie had asked me if we could do something special for Logan, and I'm happy to oblige.
Yes.
Listen, there are times, and I freely admit it, I can be a jerk sometimes. People have called me worse, but there's a 10-minute rule to swearing on YouTube, so I'll try to keep it. So I won't say some of the names people have called me, but there are occasions where I let the kindness and good nature come out. It's to do something like that to make somebody's day, time, week, whatever it is, a little bit better. Sadly, I'm not a superhero. I don't have Batman's, wealth and gadgetry. I don't have Superman's ability to fly and run really fast. But if there's some small thing that I could do to make somebody's day better, and to sort of bring the spirit of the superheroes that we speak about and love to be entertained by into the real world, I'm happy to do that, and I feel that's as podcasters of these characters, talking about the media that they exist in, if we each could bring a little bit of those characters to life in small ways, I think that would go a long way. And so I was happy to do that, and I hope Logan enjoyed that episode, and I hope that he enjoys any episode that he listens to going forward. Or maybe he got tired of listening to me and Donnie talk that once, and he's like, all right, once enough.
I don't think so.
So if that's the case, we're happy to enjoy it. And
well said,
little guy. So today was originally only supposed to be a Krypton's Legacy episode, but sometimes the universe gives us long-awaited news that we weren't expecting to have, and to adjust, we had to make it a Batman Superman joint episode. So here we are. Superman is upon us in, as of this recording, what? Less than 2 weeks.
Yeah. I'll actually be seeing it on July 7th, Adam. That is when the Chicago press screening is here in Chicago. It's being hosted in our biggest IMAX theater as well, which is really cool. So July 7th is the day for me.
And I will be on the 11th with all the rest of the average Joe Schmo. So, but it's upon us. It's right there. Another movie that we've been long awaiting is the Batman Part 2, and there's an update there. And the update is Matt Reeves has finally finished the script for the Batman Part 2. Specifically, Matt Reeves and Mattson Tomlin.
Yeah.
Who, of course, helped on the first one as well, but I believe he went uncredited on the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's getting credited on this one.
Yeah, seems like it.
But they posted a picture of the two of them together, they were blurred out, kind of blurry. But in the foreground, clear as day, was the Batman Part 2 script. Well, the script was a little bit blurry, but the logo for the script on the front page was clear as day and signified that, all right, it's done. And if that wasn't, I guess for some journalists and people that are interviewing James Gunn on the press tour for Superman, just saying that the script was done wasn't enough. One of them had to ask, have you read it yet? And I'm like, okay, we're at a point now that we're asking the poor man if he's read a script. Like, can we just be happy that it's done? At this point, I'm just happy that it's done.
Did you get paid today? Yeah. Oh, did you catch your check yet? No.
So what's next? We're gonna ask him how many times he sneezed. Like, what are we doing here? Like, let's just, again, let's just be happy that the script is done. I know a lot of people are saying, well, okay, it's done, but now what if there are notes from James Gunn and Peter Safran and rewrites? Well, it seems to me that the way Matt Reeves writes is that he writes and then hands in pages as he's going along. So if there are notes, he can get them, with some sort of speed as he's writing, so he can just adjust on the fly. So I don't know that that's going to be the case where he's going to have to do much of a rewrite. I think as long as what they see in the script is up to snuff, then we're about good to go here for this. And again, I'm just happy that it's done. I like the fact that it seems like we're going to get some updates. Those image updates that Matt Reeves was posting back in the Batman Part 1, and those GIF casting notifications that we all enjoyed. And it's funny because, let me just pull it up here so I can tell you what it looked like. And Mattson Tomlin, he posted some more imagery. He's got, I want to say there's like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 the Batman Part 2 notebooks that he posted. So I'm wondering if those are like different drafts of the script or what. But it's funny because 3 of them have like the Batman. No, 2 of them have the Batman logo on it. One of them says the Gotham Project on it, and the other one has a drawing of Adam West's Batman cowl on the front of them, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I already like the fact that we're getting these little updates, these little imagery. Things are happening. It's good. We've got DCU Superman, again, upon us. We've got Elseworlds Batman in the Batman Part 2, gearing up for filming. As a fan of these 2 characters being my favorite characters in all of fiction, that makes me pretty happy. So, Nick, what are your thoughts on the script seemingly finally being finished?
I'm completely overjoyed, like yourself as well. I freaking loved the Batman Part 1, I guess, if we're calling it now that. Patience is a virtue. I know, we not like we ever really gave Matt Reeves any slack or anything. Maybe we were a little frustrated, and as I think all fans should be, the wait time, doesn't necessarily still justify the means, but I'm very happy that the script is done. It's coming at a very peculiar time with Superman right around the corner. I know there was all this speculation that everything quite literally was dependent on Superman's success, so that was very interesting. That's coming around right before Superman.
I don't think that will affect Batman Part 2 at all.
is hitting. I don't think it's going to offend anything, but you know what? I think the whole point in all of this is that we need a Batman movie sooner rather than later, whether it was the Batman Part 2 or whether it was The Brave and the Bold or whatever that ends up being called. We needed a Batman movie, and I am very glad that they are moving full stop with this. If this is the final chapter of Matt Reeves' saga, then I'm glad that he gets to kind of write, hopefully, a definitive Batman movie, and hopefully Robert Pattinson gets one last hurrah as Batman. But we don't have to speculate on all that, right?
Yeah,
you know, we just have to be glad that it's done, and can't wait for the updates, because that was the really fun part. I felt like with the Batman was when we were getting the casting, and then when everything was taken off. So that's what I'm excited about now. So hopefully that's the next stop here, and
again, I don't know that that's going to be the case, whether this will be the last one or not, just because, look, at the end of the day, if this makes the same or more than the Batman,
if it makes $1 billion, then I'm sure that
you know, are they really going to say, well, you know, we made a lot of money here, should we leave it on the table? I think, look, I'm at the point where, because again, James Gunn said that he won't rule out anything, but as of right now, as of when he gave that interview to Entertainment Weekly or whoever it was, he said the plan was still for the DCU Batman and the Batman, you know, the epic crime saga, to have two separate Batmen. And again, he didn't rule out the possibility that at some point might change, but right now that's not the case. Right. So assuming that there is going to be two Batman, if the Batman Part 2 is, like I said, makes even the exact same or more than the Batman, then I just don't see DC saying, yeah, okay, we're just going to stop there. So I think people are going to have to potentially get prepared for the possibility of two Batman concurrently. And look, at first, you know, during maybe the casting phase, will there be some, you know, when people first hear the announcement, will there be some confusion? Possibly, but I'm of the opinion, again, this is just me, maybe I'm giving the audience too much credit, but I'm of the belief that if the movies are both good, let's hypothetically say, you know, one comes out a year with from the other one. If both movies are good, the audience aren't going to care. And again, the barometer I use for that audiences are not going to care is ultimately the X-Men franchise and their use of continuity, and continuity is a joke in that franchise. But when the movies were good, people didn't care. Like, everybody knew Ryan Reynolds was Deadpool, from X-Men Origins Wolverine. When he showed up again and had a completely different origin and totally disregarded that other movie, nobody cared. It was just a good movie, and it's like, all right, I guess we're in the Stuart McAvoy, whatever continuity this is. And again, the movie made what, 745 some odd
made a lot of money.
So again, at the end of the day, I think quality will speak volumes for both projects. And if they're both good, I don't think people will care, because, and again,
that's a good point.
Spider-Man, what's his name? Tom Holland appeared in Civil War, what, a couple years after Andrew Garfield? It was literally 2 years in between.
Yeah.
And he was cast a year. He was cast in 2015, less than a year after The Amazing Spider-Man Part 2. And I don't remember anybody saying, well, what happened to Andrew Garfield? Like, again, if the movie's good, and listen, if whoever's playing Batman in Brave and the Bold or Batman in Son, whatever it ends up being called, if the suit looks cool and the movie ends up being good, I don't think people are going to care. That's just me. But again, the quality has to be there. So I think we have to sort of prepare ourselves for the possibility that the Brave and the Bold and potentially the Batman Part 3 may come out not too long after one another.
Mhm.
And again, I don't know that it's going to be that big of an issue for audiences to deal with. But again, right now that's not the issue. We'll see who ultimately gets cast in Brave and the Bold. My main concern right now is what's in front of me, and the two things regarding Batman and Superman that are directly in front of my face are Superman and the Batman Part 2. So I will worry about Brave and the Bold when there are substantial updates on Brave and the Bold. And then I'll start getting excited for that. Right now, I'm just happy we have a Batman movie that is gearing up to go into production, and Superman is literally days away from being watched by me and everybody else. So that's the good stuff, and that's pretty much all the news we have. As I've said with Chris the other day when we recorded, it's really kind of pointless to talk about box office projections for Superman because really, it ranges from 95 million opening weekend to 165 million.
Yeah.
And it literally all depends on the preview, the day before the preview screenings or the Amazon, what the Thursday accounts for, and then directly impacting the weekend box office will be whether we like it or not, the Rotten Tomatoes score and the cinema score. So those are going to have an impact. So for us to sit here and say, "Oh, it could be anywhere between 65 and 195," it's pointless because at this point we don't know.
I mean, do I think it's going to be big? Yes, I do. Opening weekend. Objectively, it's going to be big.
My expectation is that it's going to open big.
Exactly.
My expectation, just because we're talking about James Gunn and he hasn't steered me wrong yet, is that it's going to be a good movie. Beyond that, when Nick and I probably next get together, it'll probably be our review episode for the movie. So we'll talk about box office then when we have some concrete actual box office to talk about. And hopefully it's good news and we can sit here on that day and safely say two things. We both liked the movie to whatever degree we liked the movie, and that it did well enough to continue the forward momentum of the DCU. That's all. At the end of the day, if I can say those two things, then I'm happy. I'd be a lot happier if, and this is where is it? Hold on, because I didn't get to do it yesterday.
I can't believe it's not next to you. You've been using it too much.
Wait a minute. Where the hell is where's my Christmas here, folks? Oh, here it is. I'd be happier if we were recording that podcast. If Rachel Brosnahan, Isabella Merced, and Michaela Hoover were sitting, on each side of me because all three are on the list. I have to make up for yesterday because I didn't use it at all.
Wow! Oh man!
Yeah. With the record, felt like something was wrong. So that would make me even happier. But I'll take just having seen a Superman movie that I really like and one that was successful enough to keep the DCU going. That's my wish list. The other thing would be, rubbing a genie lamp 3 times and asking for 3 wishes, and those would be my 3 wishes. But the chances of that happening are, little to none.
I don't know. I see some purple smoke hovering behind you. You might want to end
I'll probably see the Leafs win the Stanley Cup before I see.
Want to end the show a little early?
But well, listen, hey, if either of them walk through my door, we're ending the show immediately. But that's where we are. That's the news. Good stuff on the Batman Part 2 front. We're days away from seeing Superman. It's a good time to be a DC fan. So be excited and enjoy what you enjoy. And that's all I got to say about that. When we come back after the break, we're gonna do what we were originally gonna do with this episode, which is a ranking of our favorites from the Superman franchise in multiple facets of entertainment. So we're going to talk about our favorite Superman movie. We're going to talk about we're going to pick our favorite Clark Kent and Superman actor. They may not be the same person.
Mm.
We're going to talk about our favorite Lois Lane. We're going to talk about our favorite Jimmy, Perry, Lex. We're going to talk about our favorite Superman suit in live action. We're going to announce which one is our favorite Superman live action show, our favorite animated live action Superman project. Of course, we're going to talk about the comic books and which is our favorite comic book story. So lots to discuss in terms of our personal favorite Superman projects across all media. So after the break, that's what you have to look forward to. Hopefully, you'll be back on the other side with us. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
What's up, everyone? It's the Emerald Enthusiast. For all of your multiverse viewing and listening needs, check out our shows, which include Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters, Power Rangers, the Marvel Universe, and the DC Universe, including the Emerald Echo podcast. You can check us out on Podbean, and remember to subscribe right here on YouTube. That's the Multiverse Musings Podcast Network. From the first podcast to the last.
And we're back, and as promised, we're going to run down our favorites across the Superman franchise in all media. So, since there's a new movie on the horizon, Nick, let's start with the movies.
Ooh, going big.
What is your favorite Superman movie? I mean, how do you want to do it? Do you want to rank it, or you just want to say your favorite?
Let's just do our favorite because I mean, not that there's been that many Superman movies anyway, at least live action wise.
We're thinking about Batman. We have 12.
Superman's unfortunately been a little slim, but my all-time favorite Superman movie. It's funny because like when I was a kid, it was always Superman 2. Yeah. But my all-time, the one that I always go back to is the OG Superman 78, formerly known as Superman the movie. Just feels like such an epic film. That score in the movie, the performances.
Save the score. Yeah.
You know, I know, right? Yeah, we'll talk about it a little later too.
I have a feeling we're both going to talk about.
I have a feeling we're going to have some overlap here. Like I can say so many things, like go on and on about it. I think for me, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. One of the best comic book movies ever made, in my humble opinion. So I'm going to go with Superman the movie as my all-time favorite Superman movie. How about you?
It's really close between Superman the movie, aka Superman 78, and Superman 2, the Lester cut, the theatrical cut.
Yeah, and that is also the one I prefer as well.
Yeah. And you know, it's like, to me, it depends on what day, like what I'm in the mood for. I think the edge that. The extra thing that Superman 2 has going for it is the action, what was upgraded. And you actually see Superman fight other beings, you know, the three Kryptonians. Whereas in the first one, he's chasing rockets and you know, saving everything and you know, stopping natural disasters. So that's where that one has maybe, you know, a little bit of an advantage, but in terms of an overall movie, it's Superman the movie, simply because I'm a sucker for a good origin. That is one of the best origin. Like, if you talk about superhero movies, in terms of superhero origin movies, that's one of the best. I mean, the only other two that I really put in there in that category or close, and this is not a ranking of the three, so don't say, oh my God, he said this one first. But the other two are Spider-Man and Batman Begins.
Yeah.
Along with Superman 78. Like, those are the pinnacle of the superhero origin movies. Sorry, Iron Man, you're probably fourth. I will rank you fourth, but you're definitely fourth. Sorry, RDJ, now Doom. But yeah, there you go. But so I did do a little bit of a ranking, but it wasn't one of the TC ones. Like, the stuff on Krypton, the fact that you get to emotionally invest a little bit with Clark Kent
Mm-hmm.
before he becomes Superman, I think is very important. And it just had this magical, whimsical, tone to it that even though I was watching it decades after it had come out, you still get swept away by it and captivated by it.
Yeah.
And that's saying a lot, given that Superman doesn't show up like in costume for about an hour.
Yeah.
So I love it, and that's probably my uh, my personal favorite Superman movie. But Superman 2 is a close second.
Yeah.
And I will say, I do have a fondness for Superman Returns just because that was the first one I saw in theaters.
Sure.
So I do have a fondness for it for that reason. But Superman the movie does get the edge.
Mhm.
All right, now it's going to get a little bit tougher because now we have
Yeah, we got the easy one out of the way.
yeah, that was easy. Now we have okay. We're going to break this up into two. So I want your favorite Clark Kent
Okay.
and your favorite Superman actor. Now they don't have to be the same person. They can be the same person if you
Sure.
want, but they not necessarily have to be. So go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, and obviously for the sake of having some fun with this, my Clark Kent and Superman are different. So my
Good.
Clark Kent, and this is like an answer, as I'm sure is the case with you. Ask me on a Wednesday or something, and it might be different. But for the sake of this moment in time, my favorite Clark Kent is Tom Welling.
Oh,
I'm obviously having the luxury and the benefit of having 10 seasons of
we're gonna have the
television
fancy system. I like it.
to build his character as it was. I did go up with that show, and I'll talk about that a little bit later on in another category, maybe. Wink, wink. But Tom Welling, I feel like really fleshed out the character of Clark Kent so fully, and I really did feel satisfied with where his arc ultimately ended up. So Tom Welling's my favorite Clark Kent. My favorite Superman is Tyler Hoechlin.
Oh,
So there you go. I felt like
you just
obviously
covered the TV spectrum. You went.
you know, I just
One
listen.
decade is gonna be Clark Kent. The other decade is gonna be.
What a full circle thing for me, right? I just thought he truly embodied the modern Superman, in my humble
Yes,
opinion.
yeah.
I thought his Clark Kent was actually really good as well. But his Superman really, I felt like captured that essence, that aura, that that magical feeling of this is Superman. Wish he had gotten maybe like a more classical comic book accurate show to work off of, but I really felt like what he did as Superman was incredible. And if you had asked me like before the Superman and Lois show got greenlit, I was like, what is this? Like, I thought this was like a disgrace to the character. And then when the show came out, it hit such a 180 for me. So Tyler Hoechlin, to me, yeah, he's the bar in terms of what I need to see in Superman moving forward.
Fantastic. Good
How about you?
choices. Well, for me, Clark Kent, my favorite Clark Kent is Dean Cain. And the reason I say that is
That's a good one. It's awesome.
several reasons. One, it was he's the first Clark Kent I saw
Sure.
in terms of live action. So that it has a spot.
We both leaned our biases. It's okay.
Yeah. And the second thing is, I because it was Lois and Clark, the New Adventures of Superman, and a bulk of that time was spent with the two of them, reporting and working together as reporters. You really got to see a fully developed Clark Kent, not as a disguise or fictional persona, but as a real quote unquote human being, even though he's an alien from Krypton. But you really got to sit with that character because it's TV. And again, like you were saying with Tom Welling, you got to develop the character, got to grow with the character over 4 years. So, and I just thought he was, like he had a personality. He wasn't just, it wasn't just a disguise. It was like in this scenario, he was the real persona, and Clark Superman was the like in the show Dean Cain says as Clark, Clark Kent is who I am. Superman is what I can do, and I thought that came through in his performance as Clark.
Yeah.
So he gets my vote as Clark. As Superman, oh, this is so tough.
I know.
This is really, really tough because I love Tyler Hoechlin.
I had to go with the gut. Got to go with your gut instinct.
I love Tyler Hoechlin. I love Christopher Reeve.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, and look, it's not just Superman Returns, but it's the Crisis on Infinite Earths episode. It's Brandon Routh. When the combination when he got to come back and really talk, share with Bitsy Tolek's Lois about first of all their first interaction when they first meet was gold. But then when his Superman is talking about what the Joker did to the Daily Planet and causing the death of everybody that Superman loves, and why Superman still does what he does, that to me re-emphasized Brandon Routh as as my favorite Superman, and also because yes, Brandon Routh in Superman Returns was an extension of Christopher Reeve, but I thought there was even more emotion emanating from his Superman, a little bit than Chris, a little bit more than Christopher Reeve, and I just thought like that. I know that film was devoid of a lot of action, but when Superman did arrive on the scene and did save people, that Superman, you felt comfort, you felt safe, and I that's a big thing for me. And so all those reasons are why Brandon Routh is my preferred Superman. Again, I can't include David Gordon because I haven't seen it. So anybody yelling at the screen, how could you? I haven't seen it yet. I can't put somebody I haven't seen.
Ask us in a month.
Yeah. We have to change in a month, but for right now, it's Brandon Routh. Okay, now it's going to get even harder. At least for me, it is. I didn't mean that to sound inappropriate, but we're talking about our favorite Lois Lane. I'm sorry if it sounded inappropriate. I didn't intend it to. At least this time. So Nick, favorite Lois Lane.
It was perfect transition too. Might I say? Implied. Man, this might actually honestly be the hardest one that I think we're gonna do. And I did it again. Favorite Lois Lane is one that I literally go back and forth on because I myself, God, this is gonna sound like I'm breaking a moral code here. Listen, I love Erica Durance's Lois Lane. Don't get me wrong. I understand that to a lot of people she's the definitive Lois Lane, but it's like part of me wants to say Bitsy Tolek just because I already went with Tyler Hoechlin as Superman because I feel like she really gave the character so much more depth outside of just being the traditional stereotypical Daily Planet reporter that just is like the damsel in distress for Superman. Like I appreciated that different adaptation that she brought to it, especially with her being a mom, that modernized approach to the character. But I'm going to go with my heart here and I'm going to say Terry Hatcher is still my favorite Lois Lane to this day.
Okay.
So
all right.
There you go. Little correlation with your pick there.
Oh boy, this is going to be the worst decision I've ever had to make.
Your lights are going to be flickering, and you're going to just you're going to have all kinds of kinetic energy.
I just want to say I don't like the fact that because I put this on the list of things to choose, not that list, but I will mention that list in a second. The fact that I'm making myself choose this particular category is really a crime against humanity because I should have to make this choice. I just want to point out that Erica Durance on the list.
He's going to put them all
on the list. Rachel Brosnahan, I haven't seen you yet, but on the list.
Oh yeah, why did I say
Um,
Rachel Brosnahan was my favorite Lois? I could have just been done the
um,
cop out, just
Tim Hatcher on the list. Kate Bosworth, even though you weren't the best, still on the list. I'm making up for yesterday. Am I not? Did I miss anybody? Did I get them all? I think I got most of them.
No, well, I guess you didn't put what. Oh God.
Bitsy, did I say Bitsy Dolek? She's yeah.
Margot Kidder. There you go.
No, she's.
Hey,
Sorry, Margot,
live action Lois. Can I? You gotta.
Pen click list. You're not on that list. So.
Oh my God.
Different list. And just for me personally, I'm sure people find her very attractive. Wasn't for me. Anyway,
just thought I'd be fair.
Yeah, no. I mean, she was a good Lois, but not on the multiverse wives list. Now that I've clicked the pen, got her all of the way, everybody's all my favorites have gotten their moment in the sun. My all-time favorite Lois Lane in terms of performance and everything, look, performance, the whole 9 yards, chemistry with her Clark Kent Superman. I got to give it to Terry Hatcher. I mean, just she kind of pulled
it was the complete package.
She was, in terms of every category of ranking a Lois Lane, she was top tier. But again, we've had so many good Loises. We've been spoiled by the quality of Lois Lane actresses. So none of them were slouches by any stretch of the imagination. All right, so now that we've got the hardest choice out of the way, and I gotta stop using that word in conjunction with Lois Lane because it's inappropriate. I don't think this one's going to be as difficult, and that is our favorite.
Really Superman ranking After Dark over here.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But so Lex Luthor, who you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep this one short and sweet. It's my favorite Lex Luthor is Michael Rosenbaum. Having obviously the benefit of him fleshing out the character of Lex Luthor so much, the relationships that he forms with Clark Kent, and then his turn to the dark side. I felt like he really encapsulated the disdain and the evilness of Lex that he really embodied. So for me, favorite Lex Luthor is Michael Rosenbaum. I've always personally have dug the parallel of a young Clark and a young Lex going toe to toe. So that really does work for me as well. How about you? Who's your favorite Lex?
Again, I mean, this is not difficult at all. It's Michael Rosenbaum, head and shoulders above the rest, bald head and shoulders above the rest. Just it's the fact that we saw the fall of his character, right? The descent into villainy, right?
Yep.
And we saw how hard he fought against it for so long, before ultimately, becoming, the criminal and the foil for Superman that he is. And then when you got to see those moments of true villainy from him, he was the Lex that I always wanted from the comics, brought to live action. So he was perfect, and yeah, he's without question my favorite. So Jimmy Olsen now. Who's your favorite Jimmy? I'll tell you who my least favorite is. Is that Sham from BBS? Where the hell that was supposed to be? That's my least favorite. But go on, who's your favorite?
Oh man, best live action Jimmy Olsen. Okay. This one is actually probably the toughest one, to be honest. Because it's a character that hasn't really been done entirely the most.
Yeah.
And I'm blanking on the actor's name, but I'm actually gonna go with the first Jimmy Olsen from the Lois and Clark Adventures of Superman.
Oh, okay. Is it
Yeah.
something landed there?
maybe Michael
So,
Landis,
yeah,
something like that. The irony being that he was recast after one season because producers felt like he was too good looking and he was too paralleled to Dean Cain at the time.
yeah,
But I felt like his connection and his Jimmy wasn't too like like it wasn't too campy or anything like that. It was like just
yeah,
the perfect like right for its time.
yeah.
Jimmy Olsen, but I think the Jimmy Olsen we're about to get is probably gonna, bar none, be the best
Yeah,
that we're gonna get.
Skylar Gazondo is probably going to take the cake, but yeah.
But yeah, I would say that the Jimmy Olsen from Lois and Clark is currently my favorite one. How about you? Because I know this is probably a tough one without really being tough, I guess.
It's really difficult. I had this one pegged, before we logged
Sure.
on. I just realized what I just said. Never mind. I had this one selected from the first before we logged on. Anyway, it's Sam Huntington from Superman Returns.
There you go.
That's his name, right? I think, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I just thought he was ripped right off the pages of the comics. I mean, that was Jimmy, without question. So I mean, it was pretty straightforward for me. Certain characters I really like when they go classic and tried and true, and I think they did that with that Jimmy, and so he stood out to me as the best one yet. Again, until probably July 11th, but we'll see. All right, so just to round out the main cast members of live action Superman, at least the ones that we're going to rank. Who's your favorite Perry White?
My favorite Perry White is man. I'm giving a lot of love to this show here, but my favorite Perry White is the one from My Adventures with Superman. So I'm going with Lane Smith as my favorite Perry White.
So, you mean Lois and Clark? Yeah.
Yes, Lois and Clark. Yeah.
You said the cartoon. I'm like, the cartoon.
My Adventures with Superman. No. Yeah, quick audible here. Yeah, no. My favorite Perry White is the Perry White from Lois and Clark, New Adventures of Superman. Yeah. I felt like his Perry White was like that. Not only was he like the boss of the Daily Planet, and he was that so very well, but he was also like a father figure. He was like a mentor to to those characters, and like you really felt like they had like this fondness and this relationship. The way that he always gave them like advice and things like that, like he was their boss, but also made me want to say their friend as well. So I felt like that Perry White really was a fleshed out version of the character. So I'm gonna go with Lane Smith as my favorite Perry White. Yeah,
100% agree. Lane Smith is the man in terms of that character. Just the old school, tough, gruff newspaper man, but also he was a father figure, like you said. He had a heart, and it came through. And me also being an Elvis fan, when he would say great shades of Elvis, I dug that. I dug that he was an Elvis fan. Yeah, he was great. And he has yet to be topped as a Perry White goes for me. All right, so we've covered the main live action actors for the different parts. Let's sort of keep in the vein. Not necessarily. This doesn't have to be a movie choice. So, but favorite Superman costume in live action.
Favorite Superman costume for me is the OG one, which is Christopher Reeve's Superman costume. Just love how bright and hopeful it is. I just love the way that the S pops on him. I think he looks terrific in the costume.
Yeah,
a big part of that as well. Like, he just screams Superman in that costume. So I'm gonna go with the OG Christopher Reeve costume from Superman the movie, Superman 2, or however you want to say it. So there you go. How about you?
That is a great costume, and that is my 1B.
Okay.
But I gotta go off. I gotta give credit to the CW and Crisis on Infinite Earths. The Brandon Routh Kingdom Come suit. When I saw that, because look, this was before James Gunn came on and used the Kingdom Come symbol. This was before any of that. I saw that Kingdom Come suit, and I knew that it was the Kingdom Come suit because that's the Kingdom Come Superman.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the promo shot, and I literally sat at this not this computer because it was a different one. This is a newer one, but I had a computer similar to this one,
Mhm.
and I literally sat there for 5 minutes, just in awe, thinking, I can't believe I'm getting this suit. Number one.
It is a really
Number
great suit.
two, it's on the CW and it looks that good. What world are we living in?
Yeah.
And it just and the fact that we're getting Brandon Routh back in the role, all
Yeah.
that coalesced into it's my favorite suit so far. Now again, when I see David Cornsweet in motion in his suit, could that opinion change? Yes, it could.
Mhm.
We'll have to revisit this episode in a couple of years after
Yeah.
we've had some time to change it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see where we are. But
We're all
as of
gonna
right
change
now,
it. Yeah.
yeah. But right now, it's the craziest unlimited
Yeah.
Earth suit that Brandon Routh wore.
Hey, I almost honestly, I almost said the Fleischer suit from Superman and Lois.
Another good one. Again, we've been largely
I mean,
Yeah.
not like I want to make an audible now because I'm gonna keep my answer, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
talk about something that you never thought you would see translate so
Yeah,
perfectly.
true. Yeah.
That Fleischer suit was beautiful.
Yeah.
In Superman and Lois, and he only wore it for like 5 minutes, so not even.
Agreed. Agreed.
There you go.
So yeah, that just I was blown away by that costume and how good it looked. So that's my pick. But again, by and large, we've been blessed with really good looking Superman costumes on screen. I mean, the weakest might be the Superman Returns one, but that's neither here nor there. But so that's my choice, the Kingdom Come Brandon Routh costume. All right, Superman musical theme. What's your favorite?
Yeah, this one was a morning of contemplation for me, I guess, if you want to say, because the Hans Zimmer score for Man of Steel is one that I really, really love, and I love Hans Zimmer's work in general.
It's good. Yeah.
That first flight theme that in Man of Steel literally
Mm-hmm.
puts me to tears. Like, it's so beautiful, it's uplifting. It's a great modern score what Hans Zimmer did with that. But again, I'm a traditionalist, I'm a purist. I got to go with John Williams' iconic Superman theme. It's the one piece of, pop culture that's always transcended the test of time. It's one thing that screams Superman. You hear it anywhere you go. So I'm going with the OG John Williams Superman theme. How about you?
Yeah. For me, like I can't. There's no world where I can vote anything but that, just because it is so perfect for that character. It is synonymous with that character in the same way the Bond theme is synonymous with Bond. In the same way that the '89 Batman theme, when you hear it, you know exactly who that is.
Yep.
So it's just pitch perfect and synonymous with the character. I will give credit though. There, as Nick was alluding to with the Man of Steel, there have been a lot of good, top-notch Superman-related themes, like Superman the Animated Series. That theme is very much a classic Superman theme. Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman, very much
a good one.
Top-tier Superman theme. So a lot of them have been really good. It's just that the John Williams one is like up here and so synonymous and so. I mean, you can say Superman as you're humming it. I don't know if it gets any better than that.
Yeah.
So it is.
It's true.
So that's the choice, and we're in agreement on that one. Okay, so now let's move over to animation. There's a lot of good choices here because DC has had a plethora of success in terms of the animated format. So, favorite animated Superman adaptation?
Yeah, my favorite Superman adaptation is Superman the Animated Series. This is a iteration of Superman that obviously was neck and neck with Batman the Animated Series, and it's one that I still don't think has truly gotten the credit that it deserves for everything that it gave us. In terms of feeling like a fully lived in DC animated universe. You know, you had all the characters, superheroes that popped into that show. Just the how fun it was, how dark it was, and how deep it was as well. So I feel like, you know, because Batman animated series was so fantastic and so superior that Superman was like kind of like this nice 1A or whatever, or it was like a solid 2
Yeah.
to Batman's
Yeah.
1. But I thought this was terrific. And if you're looking for a perfect launch pad, a perfect introduction to Superman, I would not tell people not to watch Superman animated series, 'cause it still holds up very well to me. So I think like this is for me, this is like top tier DC
Right.
content. So Superman the animated series for me. How about you?
Yeah. I'm of the same opinion. In the same, you know, like I think you've heard me say it on the Batman show, where where I've said you know, Batman the animated series is the best adaptation of Batman outside of the comic books in another
Mhm.
media. I would say the same for Superman the animated series. I mean, you get you get the wide range of Superman characters from his supporting cast, from all his different villains, and you know, it really takes you on a ride story wise with Superman. Like you see the origin, but you go well beyond the origin as well.
Mhm.
And I thought it was a fully fleshed out um, look at Superman's world, the likes of which, you know, we haven't gotten to the same extent in a live action setting because there's only so much you can do in live action. You know, you're constrained by budget, you know, time,
Mhm.
and all these different things. With animation, it's a little more free, and you can explore. And so that's why Superman the animated series gets the choice from me as well. So before we head over to, I mean, a bit nice in conjunction with our next choice. But before we head over to the comic books,
Mhm.
um, who is your favorite Superman villain?
My favorite Superman villain is, you know, I'm not gonna be the, you know, person that just says Lex Luthor or Darkseid. I'm actually gonna go my heart. You know what? I'm just gonna go with my heart in this one. I'm gonna say Brainiac is my favorite Superman villain. There's something about just him not having the just punch a villain challenge. You know, I love somebody that gives the heroes a little bit more of a mental challenge, and obviously Brainiac being such a deep villain to Superman.
Mhm.
And obviously it's something you can also do with Supergirl as well. So I love that, you know, he's a character that can kind of transcend beyond Superman a little bit. But if I had to not do Brainiac, because I guess some people can say he's more of a Justice League villain, and I wouldn't argue that as well. Um, I can have a lot of fun with like Metallo or Parasite, but you know what?
Yeah,
We keep it simple. I'm gonna say Brainiac is my favorite Superman villain. How about you?
yeah. Well, I first of all, I firmly think that Brainiac is first and foremost the Superman villain, more so than the
Mhm.
Justice League villain. Um, and I do think he's my ultimate choice. Um, Mainly because there's a parallel there, you know, between him and Superman, and they're both aliens. But you see, Brainiac really is able to emphasize and highlight Superman's humanity
Mhm.
and the impact that the Kents have on making Superman who he is. Because Brainiac is the exact opposite. You know, not having that that human relationship, that human, you know, the human touch, and having all of Brainiac's power shows you where it could go if it's fostered the wrong way. But also, again, his connection, depending on the continuity, his connection to the destruction of Krypton,
Mhm.
um, I think makes him very unique. and a very personal villain to both Superman and, as you said, Supergirl.
Yeah.
And I like that in the grand scheme of things, especially in live action, we haven't really seen much of him, with the exception
No.
of the Krypton show, which I thought when they did him, he was done very well there,
Yeah.
and I really liked it. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Brainiac as well. With Lex Luthor getting second place, just because there's something to be
Sure.
said about the human being being the foil for the superpowered alien who
Right.
despite the balance of power difference, Lex is able to always get under Superman's skin and one up him several
Yeah.
times over.
It's just like if someone's gonna choose Joker as their favorite Batman, I'm like, are you really gonna argue with that, right? You know,
No, you
it's just
can,
like,
you
yeah,
can, yeah, you
yeah,
can, you
no.
can for sure.
Yeah.
So now, I think we're getting down to our final category here. If I'm not mistaken, did I miss anything? I think we're at comic books
No, I think
now.
we're at the end all be all now, I guess, as you can
Yeah.
say.
So we're taking it back to the beginning. And we're going to the comic books. So, Nick, favorite comic book story?
Oh boy. Wow. I'm actually glad that we probably saved this one for last. Because boy, is there just like a plethora of really amazing ones to choose from. You know, some of which we've actually covered on this channel, whether it's with me or somebody else.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of really awesome ones, right? I mean, you have Birthright, For All Seasons, you have All-Star Superman, which is oddly enough right behind me. Right, you know, you have Secret Identity, you have The Man Who Has Everything. I mean, like, the list goes on. There's a lot of really awesome choices to go to. And I go back and forth between For All Seasons and also Superman. But you know what, Adam, for the sake of keeping it where my heart lies, like this second, All-Star Superman is the one Superman story to me that just means a whole lot to me. Obviously, like, I'm not going to spoil if you haven't read it. Which, if you haven't read it, why haven't you read it?
Yeah, especially with the movie coming.
Yeah, like get on it. Literally get on it.
You've got a week and a half. You've plenty of time.
Yeah. But that story means a lot to me just as a person and obviously for what Superman goes through in that book. So I'm gonna go with All-Star Superman as my all-time favorite Superman story. How about you?
This is a very tough choice. Because like
Probably
you said,
the toughest one that I struggle with, to be honest.
A lot of good ones, yeah. Even though the lowest one was difficult,
yeah,
I kind of
that second hardest one.
Yeah, it was down to two. With Lois, really, ultimately. But with this one, like, look, you're bang on with All Star. I think it's fantastic. I love the story. I'm not going to choose that one though because again, I think that's going to be a lot of people's choices. So I'm going to go off the board a bit. Also, I'm not going to choose For All Seasons. It's fantastic. I love it. But again, that's going to be one that if you ask 9 out of 10 Superman fans, they're going to say either For All Seasons or All-Star Superman. I have two that are pretty neck and neck, so I'm going to choose them both because they're pretty much tied.
Sure.
And it may be a cop-out, but sue me, I don't care.
I think you're allowed to make the audible.
It's our show, and we can do what we want, and that's what I'm doing. So I said that I'm a sucker for origins, right? Earlier on in the show.
Okay.
I got to go with Birthright. I just love that story, and I know that it wasn't it wasn't the in continuity origin for long because people complained that Superman.
That's a fantastic choice, though.
It was a big stupid complaint. Oh, how can Superman be a vegan? Get over it. It's please.
No,
it's stupid thing to argue about.
Birthright's fantastic.
Birthright was great because it gave you a look at, and I think what I liked that it did was it gave you a modernized. And keep in mind, it came out in 2003, so not really modern. It's about 20 some odd years old now. But back then, it was a modernized look at Superman. Yeah. I like that it showed you, Clark Kent traveling abroad and learning journalism and experiencing being a journalist. But it also showed you, like, you were learning about Krypton and Clark's heritage with him.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that aspect of it. I like that it borrowed from Smallville, which was the thing at the time. It took elements from that, and Mark Wade is so good as a writer in terms of he has the experience of the Silver Age, and when he was a kid, and the Superman he was exposed to, but yet was able to weave all that in and still create a modern Superman origin tale. That is hard to do when you have that kind of history with Superman that he does. And I just, like I said, I love that it was. If I was gonna recommend like a pure origin story for Superman to a newer reader, that's probably the one I would go with, because All Star is great, but it's super sci-fi and super heavy, and
It's
Grant
a
Morrison
very
is
big
Grant
story.
Morrison,
Yeah.
right? And as much as I love the Man of Steel miniseries, it's of the 80s. It's
the
dated,
John Byrne
so
run.
yeah. But so I think that's great as well. But I think if I was going to show a relatively newer Superman origin to a newer reader, that's the one I'd pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Lionel Yu did a great job drawing that book as well. I've got to give credit to the artist. My second choice as my favorite story is Superman, Batman, Public Enemies by Jeff Loeb and Ed McGuinness. Just because, again, those are my two favorite characters in all the fiction. And that book was gifted, the first 6 issues of that book, the first story arc, was gifted to me for Christmas the year that I got back into comics.
Nice.
And I read that, and I'm like, oh my God, if I could only read one comic book ever in the history of reading comic books, this would be the one. And to this day, they have a current World's Finest book, Batman Superman, written by Mark Waid. Yeah. And if I had to make the choice of dropping every other title that I collect and only picking one book, it would be that book, because it has both my favorite characters. Yeah. They're written so well. Their dynamic is so amazing that I just, so those are the two books that really, still to me stand out. So
that Public Enemies could honestly be a blueprint for a World's Finest movie.
I mean, James,
seriously, it writes itself. I mean,
you're working, James. Look, I know you're not listening to this. You're not one of the 5 people that listen. You're too busy doing other stuff. But you've, on the off chance you stumble on this and are like, who are these 2 idiots and what are they talking about? Look. And you've stumbled on this, you fast forwarded to this part of the episode. Good for you, I don't blame you. But anyway, but go back and listen to our Lost discussion. That was pretty funny in hindsight. But if you are listening, you've said that you're doing a semi-sequel to Superman, and it's not a straight up Superman 2. I would like to believe in my grand delusions that what you're working on is the world's finest movie with the DCU Superman and whoever your DCU Batman's going to be. If that's what you're working on, thank you. First of all, seriously. Second of all, please look at Batman, Superman, Public Enemies as a template. And if you're not going to look at that, look at Mark Waid and Dan Mora's Batman Superman World's Finest. You can't go wrong with either. And James, just to let you know, there are 3 things that I am wishing for most in this world. You have the power. You are in the unique position to deliver one of them, if not the only one. The 3 things I am hoping for. It's a bucket list thing of what I want to happen to me while I'm on this mortal coil is three things. 1, for the Leafs to win a Stanley Cup before it's all said and done for me. You can't help me with that. I've talked to God. I don't think He can even help me with that. So I've kind of just, I've just accepted my fate over there. The other 2 options. Here, the second option is that I hope, and this is in no particular order, but the other option is I'm hoping that at some point along the way, Margot Robbie will realize that she made a massive mistake marrying her husband, and that I'm the one for her. And one day she's going to knock on my door, and we're going to live happily ever after. That's number two. Again, I'd like that to happen.
Oh man.
Margot Robbie, of course, as you probably know, James, is on my list. I'd like it to happen, but I'm realistic enough to know that that's probably not going to happen. So it's down to you,
Yeah.
sir.
Hey, you never know, man.
It's down to you now, James. I was severely disappointed with the last pairing of Batman and Superman on the big screen. I was really excited for that, much like I am when the Leafs enter a playoff run. And much like when the Leafs are in a playoff run, I'm ultimately disappointed, as I was with that movie. So really, sir, it's down to you to correct that mistake of the previous regime and make a proper world's finest movie. So please, I'm not going to ask you what you had for dinner. I'm not going to ask you if you read Matt Reeves' Batman 2 script yet. I'm not going to ask you who you're casting as Batman. I'm not going to ask you what color the suit's going to be, blue and gray, black and gray, or whatever combination you so choose. Just make that world's finest movie, please. That's all. At some point in this 10-year trajectory, please, can you make that movie? Thank you. That's all I ask.
So what you're telling James Gunn to do is to not choke in the third period. That's what you're telling James Gunn to do.
Basically, that's what I'm asking you to do. So that's all I ask. If you're listening, you probably never heard any of that, but there it is.
There it is.
And if any of you can help me with either option 1 or 2,
DM Adam
Margot
on
Robbie, if you're listening, believe me, my doorbell is waiting for a ring.
Let's help Adam get his 3 wishes, everyone.
And as for the Leafs,
at least 2.
For the love of God, once in my lifetime. Is that too much to ask?
Oh,
anyway,
man.
we've that's it. We've done our favorites.
We made it.
We are now at the end of the road to Superman. We're now knocking at the door of the theater, waiting for them to let us in and watch this fantastic movie. We hope you enjoyed this ranking. We hope you had a few laughs along the way, mostly at my expense at the end there. But this was a fun episode to record, Nick. I had a lot of fun with this one.
Yeah.
And if people want to continue the Superman or Batman conversation, where can they track you down on social media?
Oh yeah, this was a blast. Seriously, thank you so much, brother. Hopefully everybody had a fun listening to this or watching as well. I'm not too far as always. I am on Twitter and Letterboxd at Nick Zednick. Of course, I am on the Vigilante Nights 39 podcast. It's a DC Marvel box office leaning show. So just type the name Vigilante Nights 39 on any podcast that you listen to. You'll find our show there. Adam, this has been one of my favorite runs as a podcaster, is covering Superman all year with you. Obviously, we've been doing it before then, but thank you, for indulging me in a bunch of variety of different Superman topics, whether it's been a revisit or a first time experience. I hope you enjoy the movie as much as I'm hoping I enjoy it. I'm already trying to temper, my expectations.
I can't take much more disappointment, Nick.
But I'm really excited. This is the first time that I've been really excited to see a superhero movie in quite some time inside the theater. So I'm hoping it delivers for everybody, but for us that have been waiting for this for quite some time, I'm really excited to hopefully come back on our next show with nothing but glowing things.
That is going to be the next show. That's insane. Right. By the way, that's the next show, is the review episode. I don't know what we're going to do with it. Well, I know what we're going to do with ourselves afterwards. Is we've got a Supergirl movie. We've got a Supergirl movie to cover the same way we did Superman. So
the road to Supergirl.
We've got a lot of work still to do, and then
there you go.
The announcement of whatever that semi-Superman sequel is, and
the work never stops.
Of course, we're gonna cover the Batman Part 2 as well. So that a lot of fun stuff still to do. After our review of Superman,
the train ain't stopping. Don't worry.
But this Road to Superman series has been fun.
Yes.
And we're here, and that's great. And if you want to talk to me about Superman or Batman, or any of these characters we love. And if you want to, again, if you can put me in contact with Margot Robbie or somebody that can get things done at the Leafs organization, you can find me at Adam_Leafs fan on Twitter. I'm also on Blue Sky. I'm on Instagram. I'll put some of the links in the description. We got a Facebook group. I'll put the group in the description as well. You can click that. I will add you to the group, and we can continue the conversation there if you so choose. But I know this is a world's finest episode, but I'm going to keep it Superman just because we're so close to the movie. Remember that Superman is forever. From your favorite Superman to your favorite Lois Lane. So long, everybody.